What's up, everybody? It's your boy Easy Bake Oven. Just letting y'all know that this week's episode, although it is good, it's a little glitchy. All right. And I would rather y'all listen to the audio versions of the episode, which are going to be anywhere you can listen to podcasts, So just bear with us this week and forgive me for the glitches. But at the end of the day, stuff happens and other technical difficulties. So thank y'all for rocking with me this far and continuing to, because I know y'all will. Still a hot fire episode. Tap in. What's up, everybody? Okay, so we are back at it again, y'all, with this series, Quarter Life Crisis. All right, I'm your host, Izzy Baker, the star of the show. And are y'all enjoying my other podcast, Bar for Bar with Izzy Baker? It's doing good on the Polaris Network. Shout out to everybody at the Polaris Network, where authenticity matters. So, y'all, we done made it to week 6. Okay, this is going to be a 12-week series. Technically 10, the other two, but technically 10. But we didn't have some hot fire people so far. We didn't talk about, what happens, who told us that we supposed to have our life together by 25. We talked about how to bounce back after our quarter life crisis. We talked about knowing when to take a mental break. Then we switched over to being an advocate as a Black man. And for those who need to do it, whether you as a Black man need to be an advocate for Black men, or you need to be an advocate for a Black man, making that choice, excellent. Then the importance of being blunt as a young millennial and being assertive, because that's needed. Now, today, we're talking about something pretty important, because I think a lot of us think that we're going to always have youth on our side. And, we won't. And it's kind of some of the reasons why some of us are having health problems a lot earlier. I do believe it's a lot with the food too, but we ain't gonna get into all the conspiracies today. So let's go ahead and get into today's title and topic. So, what happens when that grown man, grown woman weight kicks in? The meme reads, that grown man and grown woman weight hit us harder than it did our parents. It had to. All right. Inspirations for this week's episode, it comes from me as a person who everyone knows. I said it, and I don't go into too many details on this because I've done it a million times. But those that don't know, I've lost a total of 40 pounds and 45 now, excuse me. And I like seeing people who lost weight, lose weight, love to see it. And then the importance of nutrition. And, I think my guest this week is really going to be good with that, because you have to have nutrition, but you still have to allow days where you just do what you want. And that's how you stay consistent with long term. So I've been rambling for a few minutes now. So let me go ahead and bring my guest in. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I'm going to need you to tell the people your name, where you from, and where you live now.
Absolutely. So my name is Aujile. I go by Coach Aujile. I am currently residing in Akron, Ohio, but home base for me in my heart is Pittsburgh, PA.
Okay. Okay. I've never been to Pittsburgh before. How is Pittsburgh?
I love Pittsburgh. Like, there's so many things to do in Pittsburgh. It's an amazing city for literally like whatever you're into in Pittsburgh, you can find your lane. And that's really what I love about the city. And there's good food too.
Okay. Okay. So now, for those that don't know, I know, but you say coach. Tell the people what you do.
So I am a mindset coach. I'm also a weight loss counselor. So that is just basically fancy talk for saying that I help people, specifically women, is my target audience. So I help women lose weight for good by focusing on what's going on in their mind and by focusing on their nutrition.
Okay. Now, I have two phrases I'm gonna say, and I want you to tell me what's the first thing that comes to mind. So when you hear the phrase "kick in," what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Kick in, I would say when something starts. So the starting point for something.
Okay. Okay. And when you hear the word "wait," what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Um Honestly, a negative feeling, like, weight just sounds heavy, it sounds like something that's unwanted.
Okay. So I went ahead and decided to kick in and come into effect or operation. So you had that. And then weight, funny. It finds out how heavy someone or something is, typically using scales. So, all right. So you was right on the money with that about it sounds like something heavy. So coaching. So how long have you been doing your coaching? How long?
Officially, this is my second year. So the end of this year will close out my second year.
Okay. Okay, that's good. All right. So still new, but that don't mean nothing because she know what she's doing. I've seen it. Y'all gotta follow her on Instagram. So let's move into our segment. What does this have to do with mental health? So before I get into some of my sources, I gotta ask what the people want to know. You lost 100 pounds naturally. How'd you do it?
Three things, very, very simple. So the first thing is consistent exercise. Consistent being the key word there, consistent. Um, the second thing is proper nutrition. So I learned how to fuel my body in a way that it reacts positively. And then the third piece and the actual most important piece is mindset. So that's, the part that goes more into the mental health. That's when we're talking about our thoughts, our emotions, our behaviors, our like all the things that goes on internally that we outwardly reflect. So I worked on that, focused on that, really honed in on that. And those three things are really what made the
Mhm.
difference for me.
Okay. So my thing is people don't realize with weight loss, it really is a mindset thing. And and great example of that. So like when me, like say for instance, like Saturday is typically my day I eat what I want. So it's been occasions where Saturday is also my weigh-in day. So typically I do my weigh-in that Saturday morning, and then Saturday I just do whatever. That way, it can kind of go away by the time the next Saturday comes. And so it's been times where I've seen so much progress, and I'll be like, no, 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 ain't no cheat day. We finna keep, no, no, no. We're gonna keep on with this momentum. Now, I still gonna have a cheat day eventually, or a cheat meal, or whatever, however I want to do it. But even that right there is mindset, because some people I've seen, their goal is to lose 30 pounds, they lose 5, and then they just go back to eating whatever. Like, no, see, you getting too comfortable. And so that's why, and we're gonna get more into it as we go along, but that's kind of the whole mindset piece of it, because then you have to know who you are. And if you know that you can't eat dibble and dabble, then don't even do it. But then if you know you can, because people like me, dibble and dabble helps me to stay on track, because then it's like, okay, I know this day I can do what I want, so I can hold out to the end. But that's just me. So your tagline is that you want to help women lose weight through self-discovery, balanced nutrition, and mindset development. So can you tell us just a little bit of how you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first, it's important to know my background. I'm a mental health therapist. I have been for over 10 years. So I
Mhm.
do have kind of like that inside scoop when it comes to mindset. I kind of have the cheat code. Um, that was very expensive. It was a very expensive cheat code, but I have it. So I basically utilize my skills as a therapist. So I walk people through various life skills. We're talking about coping skills, emotional regulation, setting boundaries with other people, with themselves, prioritizing themselves, self care, like all of that. I use to help guide these women on, first and foremost, it is a journey of self discovery. They might not realize it, but that's exactly what it is. They might set out to lose weight, but anyone who has been on a weight loss journey for any length of time can attest to the fact that you learn so much about yourself on the journey. So much about yourself. So I help women kind of, find who it is that they want to be, and help them become that person. And, like I said, utilize those therapeutic skills. And then in addition to that, help them with the nutrition piece as well, with balanced, again, keyword, balanced nutrition. And so, because it has to be sustainable. If it's not something that you're going to be able to keep up with long term, you're really wasting your time and your money by even starting.
And I think the thing with that, and I love that you said that not only the of course, the nutrition, we knew that, but the self discovery is great, as well as the balance. And the self discovery is because some people really find themselves when they be going on these journeys. And even with the whole balance thing, because a lot of these times these people will go through these extreme workouts, and we see it all the time, and they'll lose boatloads of weight, and then they get right back on eating how they was eating prior, and then they gain it back, and now they depressed.
Yeah.
So have you ever had a client that did just that?
Oh, yes. I mean, countless
And
clients.
how
So,
did you coach them back?
uh, okay. So, well, first of all, we have to understand that, like, statistically, most people are going to not keep going, right? Most people are going to stop. Most people are going to give it their all for like a hot 2 weeks. And, that's about it. That's the nature of people. So once we understand that, we understand that it's not necessarily this one individual's fault. They're not seeking to not succeed on their journey. It's just, again, the nature of people. So again, it goes back to kind of those therapeutic techniques. So taking it back, looking at past behaviors. Is this a cycle that you've done before? More than likely, yes. Right. And why? What stopped you from being successful in the past? What was getting in your way? What were the limiting beliefs that had you stuck, where it is that you are? What are the mental hurdles that you need to overcome in order for you to actually push past that and move on to the next step? So we first, in terms of coaching them past that or coaching them through that, we first have to identify what those behavior patterns are and what those negative thoughts are, what those limiting beliefs are. And then once we understand what exactly they are and we've clearly outlined them, then we can go into breaking down the specific set of skills that they're going to need in order for them to overcome that, and kind of put in their toolbox for the next time it comes around. Because it'll come around again. Behavior repeats itself. We know that.
Exactly. Absolutely. So, according to how excess weight impacts our mental and emotional health, men and women who carry significant extra weight often face problems related to physical and occupational functioning, both due to their size and chronic ailments. Being physically unable to do things they love, such as attend fun events, travel, or visit with friends and family, can lead to social isolation, loneliness, and more difficulty coping with life's hardships. Chronic pain on its own has been linked to depression. So I seen you nodding, so I know you like, yep, that sounds 100% right. It's so sad to see people, even in my own family, not immediate family, but like family, where all of these people are older now and sick, and it's all due to diet. And yeah, and it's just like, wow. And for me, it was just like, both my parents changed their diets drastically. They're not together, but they both changed their diets drastically. Um, one doing low carb, and the other one was doing something else. But either way, they both made lifestyles out of it, and they both have gotten off of high blood pressure medicine. One of them was, they both were almost diabetic, like pre-diabetes, diabetic, and then got out of that.
Mm.
And they were working out consistently. And so I've seen it. Now I wasn't diabetic or nothing, but I've definitely seen it myself, and I've seen it with both of them. So I've seen the importance of that. I don't want to be that person who has to be on medication. We talked about medication. Granted, it was just strictly mental health medication, but I was a mental illness. But I don't want to be on any type of medication because you never get off of it if the things don't change.
Facts.
And I know there may be that's taboo. It's taboo for our people to talk about. They don't want to say that, but the same people who are in my family who are older and sick have been on these medications for tens and 20, 30 years. So have you seen any of your clients get off medication if they were on it?
Oh, yes. I've seen reduction in medication. I've also seen people get completely off medication. And to kind of speak to like one of the things that you said, though, I think it's much easier for people to take medication than it is for them to change their behavior. So that's the thing. Like the
Mhm.
medication, it's not anything that they want to do, but they would rather do that than to go through the hard work of changing their diet and moving more. So that's and that speaks to your mindset but that's the case for a lot of people.
Okay. All right. Good. So now this other one says it's come from the same source. It says that one study found that adults with excess weight had a 55% higher risk of developing depression over their lifetime compared to people that did not struggle with obesity. In your practice with being a licensed therapist prior to what you're doing now, or you still doing both, right? Or you just full time
Nope,
with
I'm
the
yep, full time with coaching. Poured
nutrition, or you
everything
still
into
doing both?
coaching. Sorry, can you
Okay,
repeat the question?
so with that, when you had your clients as just a licensed therapist, did you? Okay, I said basically, with you doing with doing being a licensed therapist, were most of your clients that were depressed and had a lot of mental health issues, were they bigger?
That's a good. Yeah, they were. They were. And I wonder, so one statistic that I've recently read, it really touched me, was the fact that 49% of Black people are considered obese. So the majority of the clients that I have always served, whether it was in the therapy
Hmm.
capacity or in, now my coaching capacity, the majority of my clients have always been Black. So I do wonder, like, kind of what comes first, the chicken or the egg type of thing. But that is interesting. Now that you ask that question, yes, the majority of them were larger people.
It makes sense. I mean, when you look at the statistics and you really sit and think about it, it does make sense because even as a person who, say, for instance, and this happened to me a lot, and I'm gonna get better with it, y'all. When I have my days to eat what I want, I ain't gonna lie, I tend to go overboard. And sometimes when I go overboard, I notice a change, not only in the way it reacts with my body, but sometimes with my thinking as well. And so I definitely can say that when you do these, and I don't like using the word diets. I believe in lifestyle changes because diet is ultimately you're gonna gain it right back. Uh, I've been there before too, but I definitely know the importance of living a certain lifestyle. So I've noticed it with certain ways of thinking, and even when I first changed my diet back in the day, I remember back in the day, what was that? 2016. That's back in the day, kind of. But anyway, yeah, I remember definitely noticing a big change in how I was thinking and how I was feeling. So it definitely is real. So let's move on to the other segment, the weekly sabbatical, which is a time for us to kind of just reflect and think. So I want you now to tell me, can you give me a brief, how I want to say this, a brief like view of your daily schedule?
Sure. So it does differ from day to day. Um, so typically, well, first of all, when I first wake up, it's the exact same every single morning. During the week anyway. So when I wake up in the morning, the very first thing I do after I get my bearings together, and after I check Instagram, which I really need to stop with that. But after I do that, the very
I
first
need to
thing
stop it
that
too.
after I do that, the very first thing that I do is I work out. Sometimes I go to the gym, sometimes I do a home workout, but working out is the very first thing. And I wake up before anyone else in my household. And that's intentional. I'm very intentional about doing that because I need to have time where I focus on me. So the first hour of my day belongs to me. So I get up, I take care of my workout, and then by that time, my son is usually up. So, I'll make breakfast. Then we, get him ready, take him to daycare during the week or during the day. I might have individual sessions set up or might even have some sort of group coaching set up. I, do whatever household things need to be done, run whatever errands. So it's kind of like a mix between like work and personal, in between the day. My work day wraps up usually around 6 p.m. My work day wraps up and then my son gets home around 6:30. And then at that point, that's family time. I'm spending time with my son, spending time with my husband, just kind of vibing out. Probably still on Instagram, which I shouldn't be, but we're working on that.
Okay, we love your honesty. So as we reflect, like I said, your day is pretty jam-packed, but what I like to see is structure. And that's the main thing with anybody trying to lose weight and really just trying to get your life in order. It has to be some type of structure. And I ain't gonna lie, like she said, Instagram, I got that bad. And I wish I could leave my phone in another room, but then it has the alarm because I have an alarm clock, but that alarm clock I'll sleep through it for some reason. But the alarm on the phone, I'll wake up.
Mhm.
So what ultimately encouraged you to lose weight? Like, what made you say I'm about to lose 100 pounds?
Well, I didn't just wake up one day and say I'm about to lose 100 pounds. That didn't happen like that. I did wake up one day and said that this weight has to go. I knew that I had over 100 pounds to lose, but to be completely honest, in the beginning, I didn't see that as like I knew it needed to happen, but I didn't see that as my reality. I didn't see that I could realistically lose 100. That's a lot of weight. Like that's a lot. So
It is.
instead, what I did is, like I said, I decided that the weight had to go. And what brought me there was so at the point in which I started my weight loss journey for the last time, and I say the last time because honestly, I've tried to lose weight 1,000,001 times. I've done it, gained it back, done it, gained it back. And this is, this was the last time. And I said, I'm not going back. Um, and that this was in 2018 when this all happened. So in 2018, I was at a point where my son was on the brink of turning 1 years old. He was a very busy child. I had been married for a little over a year, so I was a new mom, new wife. I was a full-time employee. I was a caretaker to my mother who had cancer. So I had a lot going on, like a lot on my plate. But I realized, like, when I'm looking at this plate, I kind of asked myself, how much of this is for me? Like, I am mother to my son, I am wife to my husband, I am caretaker to my mother. Where's Aujile
Yeah.
at? Where I struggle to find that. And that didn't sit right with me because I like before all of that, right? Before I was a caretaker, before I was a wife, a mother, like I lived my life. Like I lived as full as I possibly could. And I wanted that back. Like I didn't even remember what Aujile liked. I didn't remember what brought Aujile joy. Like, and that's not okay. That's simply not okay. So I basically was looking to find something for me, something that I had control of. And the one thing that I knew that I could control was my weight loss journey, right? Because it was up to me if I worked out. It
Yeah.
was up to me if I ate right. It was up like that was something I had control over. So that's where I kind of put my attention just so I can have like a little piece of my life to myself. And then like I said, it turned into this journey of self-discovery and I kept going. I just kept going.
Okay. And then you said it was you was keeping weight off for the last time, and then you then kept it off. So that's good. So now this is my question. So you lost it in 2018, right?
I started my
What
journey
happened when
again in
COVID came?
2018. COVID. I gained weight like everybody else when COVID came. I gained 20 pounds during COVID, and I was a little bit down about it at first, and then I kind of had to again check into my mindset and was like, "Sis, you gained the weight. It happened. What are you about to do? Like what's your next move?" And I got it. I got it back off. And I documented every bit of that on Instagram because for me, I've realized that when I do things publicly, it increases my likelihood of success when I do things publicly. There's a phrase that they say in the rooms, and when I say the rooms, I'm speaking of NA and AA, because I have worked with people who have been addicted to drugs and alcohol. So one of the things that they say in the rooms is your secrets keep you sick. And that's something that I have always kind of applied to my weight loss journey. Even though that phrase isn't meant to be applied to weight loss, that is absolutely the way that I have utilized it. Your secrets keep you sick. means for me when it comes to weight loss that when I am publicly, either losing weight or publicly on my fitness journey, then those are the situations in which I do better. Those are the situations in which I succeed and I'm more likely to succeed. So that's why I do it that way.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that works for you. You know, it's all about what works for you. And that's the thing. You got to find what works for you. For example, for me, some of these diets are a little too extreme. Some people go vegan and that works for them. Some people do vegetarian. Some people do pescatarian. Some people do keto. Some people do low carb, paleo, whatever works for you. All I ask and suggest is that you stick to it. And, that's it. As long as you can stick to it and it works, then cool. So my question to you is, why do you think? Because I remember I had met, and we was talking about the grown man, grown woman weight, and I was telling her, how a lot of people in my age range, I'm 28, and it hit them hard. She said, "Y'all look too young for that. It's supposed to come to like 35, 36." I said, "Well, it didn't came early." So why do you think it didn't hit this generation so hard?
That's a good question. And I can say that I've noticed that too. I mean, I've seen people literally like 20 years old that look like they're 35. So I get it. Why? Let me think. I would probably say, well, first of all, I believe each generation gets more and more sedentary. Like we don't move. Like, and I feel like I feel like such an old head for even saying this, but like kids don't be going outside. Like we was outside all the time, ripping and running and all of that. The generation under me, like my younger siblings, they didn't go outside. They was playing video games and watching TV. Like we didn't do that. Like, so I think that it starts really at that young age. As kids, we were more active, and that's not the case anymore.
And that's the thing, because I'm like I said, 28, so I'm a younger millennial, and like we were the ones that had both. We was the outside, but we had video games too. We had like the mix of everything. Okay, so we live in the BBL world
Mhm.
and the surgery. What's your take on that before I ask my other question? What's your take on it as a whole? Do you think it's necessary, or do you think it's just what's your take?
Okay, so are you asking specifically about BBL surgery, or are you talking about weight loss surgery in general?
Weight loss surgery in general. Then we'll talk about BBL.
Okay, weight loss surgery. It's a tool, right? It's a tool to help people who need that extra kind of like to kind of start them off, right? It's a tool. Um, it's also completely overused. I will flat out say that. In addition to that, I have recently been so a lot of my clients have like had weight loss surgery and then
Mhm.
weren't able to keep the weight off. So then they come to me. So one of the things that I've realized, and in talking with them, is that they're not really given a plan for what they're supposed to do after they get the surgery, which makes no sense to me. So they're getting this surgery and they're never told this is the way you should eat, or this is this is how you should conduct your life. Like they're just like, "Oh, good job, happy healing and like have a great day." So I really I really struggle with the concept of surgery, especially now that I know that they're not even given the appropriate aftercare, because it's like, what did you take these people's money for? Like what
Mhm.
for what?
Yeah. And so now with BBLs,
Lord, they some of them just look so bad. They just look so bad. I know that's not what you asked me, but Lord, they be looking bad.
it's so funny when I hear people talk about them and they say comments like, because I said my stance on it was this. This is me as a man. I said I can understand if you were a little older, you had your kids, and you want to get things back in, back. I get it.
Mhm.
And so I was quickly interrupted by older women saying, "You too old for that." And so I said, and I just started laughing because then they was like, and then the young girls getting it, they ain't got no kids. So it's like, I feel bad for them because it's people who feel pressure to get it. And do you think a lot of them maybe notice that this grown man and grown woman weight is kicking in? So they like, let me go ahead and try to, get it together now.
But here's the thing, like getting a BBL without losing weight, like, and I've seen it. Girls do it all the time. You're still big. Like, what did you now you have a big booty and your shape is like fire, but you're still big and you're still unhealthy. So I don't really know why you did, like, I don't get it.
I mean, unfortunately, it's just the pressures of this of society. And at some point on the show, I don't know when, I want to interview someone who had surgery like that, just to see like what goes through their mind. Because I know a lot of cases they are pressured. A lot of them, especially in the, we live in a society where bottle. I mean, strippers still exist, obviously,
Mhm.
but bottle girl world is the new thing, and um, a lot of them are pressured into getting them and doing these things for just for a look. And I'm trying to think, because it seemed like the original surgery that was common was just about, like just the breast, the breast,
Mhm.
and then lipo's always been a thing,
Mhm.
and then Botox. Although we had the conversation, somebody disagreed, but I said if a black man got Botox, he don't talk about it. And I'm sure these actors and stuff get them, but they don't talk about it like the
Mhm.
white people do. So surgery is always an interesting topic. And did you ever feel pressured? Did you ever even consider it?
No. No. I am not one to go under the knife for anything.
Mm,
And I had a very traumatic birthing experience where I had to have an emergency C-section. So if I was thinking about going under the knife for something, that ended that.
okay, yeah. I mean, hey, everybody, different. I mean, I would never, I wouldn't, I can't speak on nobody else, get surgery because my logic is it's something about getting the results on your own and knowing you working for them. And I'm not knocking nobody because I've seen people get fire surgery and they be fired and then they keep it off and then they shift into working out because what was it? Jason Lee. I know he had got the surgery. He had got some weight loss surgery. And he's kept it off and
Mhm.
hey, and some people can do it, but he even said he had to do a change. He said even before he got, I think he started changing his lifestyle and he worked out too. So he just got a good head start. And if you're doing it from that angle, then I can do nothing but applaud you, especially keeping it up. But it's the people who want that instant gratification, which is, I think, a lot of the reason why the grown man and grown woman weight is really kicking us in the butt because we want instant gratification. We want to eat this, drink that, you know, however long, and then social media don't make it no better because social media always got some new restaurant out, not social media itself, but your city get on social media. They push. You weren't even hungry. And this happens to me. I wasn't even hungry, and I'd be like, you know what? I got a few dollars. I can go slide over there and get that. So, do you have a cheat meal day, or do you a cheat day, or is it just like if I feel like eating something, I'm just gonna eat it?
Yeah, I don't do cheat days. Cheat days don't work for me. Again, I've tried a million and one things, right? So I've
Yeah.
tried the cheat day thing. It doesn't work for me because I'm like so focused on, so let's say, Friday is my cheat day. I'm so focused on all the million and one things I'm going to eat on Friday because I've been depriving myself for 6 days, and I don't that just it backfired. It would be it got to the point where I would do really really well, and then I have my cheat meal and then like pretty much undo everything that, or cheat day and then undo everything that I did previously. So no, I don't. So when something is really really on my heart to eat, I eat it, but I'm very mindful as I eat it, right? I'm mindful about why exactly am I eating this. Is it as good as I thought it would be? And that's another thing that'll stop me, because I can't tell you how many times I've bit into something because it just sounded so good, and you bite into it and you like, it wasn't even that deep, like it's not good. Like, it's not good.
Yeah. It's like it's not even worth it. It's not even worth the, because when I first started, my first journey,
Mhm.
I just counted calories.
Mhm.
And that worked for a long time. And I actually didn't realize that for the last 2 years. So I had plateaued and didn't realize it until like January, December, when I switched over to like a low carb lifestyle,
Okay.
which works for me because I can still have the cakes and stuff. They have low carb versions. And then of course I have a day or two where I just kind of do what I want, but it's easy. It's an easy lifestyle for me to maintain. And I learned, but you have to learn your body. And that's the main thing. Both of my parents are extremely carb sensitive. Now that may not be the case for you and for others, but they're both carb sensitive. They swell up like balloons when they eat carbs. And obviously I'm gonna do it too. And so when I learned that, I was like, okay, I know how to fight this now, and I've had success with it. So, but again, that may not work for everybody. Like I've tried vegan before, I didn't lose weight at all, but I know people who will drop
Mhm.
30 pounds in a week.
Yeah, and I'm similar. So carbs definitely affect me. Like they definitely affect me. Sugar, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and
Like
sugar.
the second I eat sugar, you can see like it you can literally like see it in my stomach. Like my stomach
Mhm.
swells so much from eating sugar. So like but again, it goes back to that self-awareness. You know, how many people are actually slowing down because again, we're in this kind of microwave popcorn society. You know, how many people are actually slowing down to pay attention to what does and doesn't work for them or how their body reacts to certain food or we're not doing that. We're not
Mhm.
doing that. We're just focused on the results. We try to ignore the process and focus on the results, and that's never going to work.
But they'll have to learn the hard way because unfortunately you can tell them, but it just won't kick in until unfortunately I had a friend, he said he had a health scare with the doctor. And that's so unfortunate that you're 29 having health scares at the doctor because of diet. I mean, not saying it should happen ever, but that's usually they're right at 40,
Hmm.
39, not 29. 29, you can still eat and drink like you want, and it'll be okay, but not this generation.
That's true. That is so true. And it's also unfortunate that it would take for a doctor to tell you that you need to make changes in order for you to think about making changes because you knew long before the doctor said that you knew you needed to change some things. You know, so why wait until you're at the finish line for the doctor to be like, "Yeah, no, you got to make some changes." Why wait till it gets to that point?
Exactly. So now we going into from this website. It's called or article. It's called 29 Easy Ways to Lose Weight Without Working Out or on a Diet. Now, I'm not doing all 29, and I'm not doing it from the standpoint of not working out and not with a diet, changing your lifestyle because obviously I do both.
Mhm.
But I've highlighted 10 things that I thought was interesting for people to add to what they're doing if they're not doing it. So the things that stood out the most, which you really need to do regardless, but especially with that. So don't get caught up in the article title, y'all. So the first one, drink water. I know a lot of people that don't. It was a struggle for me for the longest. I remember going days without drinking water, and like that's not
Woo,
okay. And I used to
Lord.
get athlete. That's the crazy thing. Go days without drinking water.
So you know better. That's what you're saying. You know better.
And didn't do better. The second one, which is good, add protein to your diet.
Mhm.
The third one, which has been a game changer for me, is to intermittent fast. You have to
Okay.
maybe find hours that work for you, but that definitely helps with fat burning. And it also helps with discipline because it helps you not say, am I really hungry? And then and before you eat, because I will eat, because I can
I
eat.
I eat all day. Like I'm a eater. Like I love food. I'm a foodie. I don't like the idea of if I say I want to be met with I can't. I don't even like that concept. So intermittent fasting is definitely something that works for people and some of my clients actually do it. But for me it's a no.
All right, the fourth one, something you should know: eat more fruits and vegetables.
Mhm.
That can help if you're doing it just and the thing with when that weight does kick in, little stuff like this you'll see results. Now it won't last
Mhm.
forever, but you're going to see some results even if you work out 2 days a week and just drink more
Yes.
water, little stuff like that.
People
Now,
always think you have to be drastic, but you don't.
no, and you really don't. So this other one, so it says, and I like this one, it says eat whole single ingredient foods. I
Yep.
like that one because it's so much processed stuff in everything we eat. And even with, you know, like I love bread, but a lot of there's so much stuff in bread,
Mm-hmm.
and of course I don't eat it like I used to because of my lifestyle. But even with like the low carb and the keto breads, it's so many ingredients in them that aren't healthy. And there's ways to make, and I actually made some like homemade bread,
Mm-hmm.
like in the keto and the cup bread.
Okay.
I'll say this: it wasn't nasty, but it wasn't great. it,
That's fair. That's fair.
it was okay. Okay, it says obviously we know limit your sugar intake.
Yep.
It says this one was the other one, stock up on healthy foods and snacks. I have a friend, he just eats healthy. He's not really like particular about it, but I know he like has a lot of yogurt and
Mm-hmm.
like almonds and stuff like that, not too
Mm-hmm.
many chips and stuff. So these other ones I thought was interesting. The last three that we're going over. So this one was try a low carb diet. That what works for me. Says many studies have shown that low carb diets are very effective for weight loss. Limiting carbs and eating more fat and protein reduce your appetite and help you eat fewer calories. And this can result in weight loss up to 3 times greater than from a standard low fat diet. And low carb diet also can help also improve many risk factors for disease. So
Mm-hmm.
that's good too. And I like that because carbs make you feel hungry again. That's the main thing. And if you cut back on some, even you'll notice a difference. And we also learned that all fats are bad, and they're not. And I'm glad I learned that recently, that all fats aren't bad, like they tried to make
Mm-hmm.
it seem.
Yep.
And so these other ones were interesting. So it says drink unsweetened green tea. Said it's full of like nutrients, and I don't drink unsweetened green tea, so I'm
Me
just
neither.
this what they said. I just wanted to test it out. The other one, which I actually do, it says add eggs to your diet. I do eat a lot of eggs. I like eggs. Um, I feel fuller off eggs. That's me. I don't know about
Mm-hmm.
y'all. And yeah. So overall, like I said, it's 29 things, but I picked the 10 things I just think would be best. How do you think overall that sounded? Because
I think again, and you're right, the title was a little bit misleading. I think what they were trying to get at is like, even if you don't change, completely overhaul your diet or completely overhaul your exercise, you can still make a difference by doing these things. So I think that's what they were trying to get at. But everything you said is it's reasonable. I mean, the biggest overarching thing that I would probably add though, and they might have mentioned this, would be to make sure that whatever it is that you do is something that is reasonable for you to do long term. Because like you mentioned low carb, you mentioned like intermittent fasting, and those are like big buzzwords right now. Everybody's doing keto and everybody's doing intermittent fasting, right? But if you know that fasting is not something you're going to be able to do, 2 months from now or for the rest of your life, if you don't reasonably see yourself doing that for the rest of your life, don't start it.
yeah.
Same thing with keto. If you don't think that doing low carb is something that is reasonable for you to continue forever, then don't waste your time and start it. So making sure that whatever it is that you do choose is something that's sustainable for you. I think that's one of the like most important things to kind of add to everything you mentioned.
Okay. All right. So finally, let's move into the last segment for the day, game time. And this game time, I'm calling it Nutrition-ish. Okay. So for this game, I'm going to name a few different meals, and we're not going into, if this is, you don't do those, but I do. We're not going off of this is a cheat day. We're not going off of if this is, baby shower,
Mm.
wedding, and nothing like that. It's more so just if you going off of, is that nutrition for real? Like, nah, that ain't it. Now, not saying you wouldn't eat it, but just saying like, is this nutrition? So you ready?
Let's go.
All right. A chicken and waffle meal with 3 strawberries on top.
That sounds bomb, but nah, don't do it.
Air fried chicken wings with a side of broccoli.
That's the one. Yep.
And that's an easy one too.
Very.
A bacon, egg, chicken, mushroom, and black olive omelet with 3 pancakes and a large orange juice mimosa.
We was doing so good at first, and you just went off the cliff. I'm gonna say nah. Like, don't do that one. Skip that one.
All right. A large pizza.
Like a whole pizza?
Yeah.
No, no, don't do
Now
it.
then I backdoor and say 2 slices of pizza with a big large salad.
I'm here for it.
Okay. A McDonald's burger with fries and a large ice water.
No. It's the water, like it's the water for me. No.
All right, and the last one is a simple one. Rotisserie chicken tacos.
Oh, that sounds delightful. Yes.
All right. Okay. All right, y'all. So let's end off with the question and challenge for the week for y'all to do. Make sure y'all doing this. Y'all can win free money. Are you currently conscious of your nutrition? If not, tell me a way you plan to moving forward. Okay. I see a lot of people that go to the gym and that's good, but like she said, if you're gonna do it, you gotta keep doing it. Because again, your diet don't even have to change. You going to the gym is gonna get results, but after a while, it's gonna quickly stop after about a good month, maybe 2. So keep that in mind. So I want to thank you for coming through today. We had our little technical issues, but it was still full of gems and full of, we've been wanting to do this for a while now. So anything you got to say before you leave us today?
Well, I just want to say that if someone is looking to lose weight, you can do it. Like, I don't care how much weight you have to lose. I don't care how big you are. I don't care what you feel like your barriers are. It is something you can absolutely do. Understand that you do not need to lose weight quickly. You didn't put it on overnight. You're not going to lose it overnight. And the time is going to pass anyway. So don't stress out about how quickly you lose it. Average weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds a week. So it's not, we're not looking to lose 20 pounds in a month or anything like that. So take your time, give yourself grace, know that you can do it, believe that you are capable and it is something that you deserve, and knock it out the park.
All right. I like to hear that. Okay. So PSA signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are and make your mind up. Don't let it make you.